Hello everyone, I'm Femke. This is my first YouTube video. Some of you may know me from TikTok or Instagram, where I post videos about my sketches. Today I'm going to be doing a sketchbook tour, so let's go! This is the sketchbook I use. It's from Moleskine. I really like this one because it has a lot of pages and the paper is quite smooth, so it's easy to blend pencils. It's also thick enough to use markers. The front I decorated with some stickers that I made myself. The back is just plain black still. So when I open it, first page, I just wrote my name. Still really had to get used to drawing in a sketchbook, and you can tell that in the first few pages I only drew on the right side because I was used to just drawing on one page. Yeah, my first drawing is this one. It's a portrait of Rode. I was getting into colored portraits. I quite liked the color combination of this one. Here's another portrait. This time I drew Jasmine. Here I drew the flowers that my boyfriend got me on Valentine's Day. I used the pigment from the flower to color the leaves. This one has quite a nice memory. Here I drew Jasmine again. You can see that the markers already started bleeding, which is kind of a reoccurring problem in this sketchbook for me. Here I started practicing using color in the face. I made this using colored pencil, and once I started drawing on the other side of the page, it started transferring here. Yeah, that's a bit annoying. Here I did an eye practice. I used the Stabilo highlighters for this. I really got some pastel colors going on. What I like about these markers is that they don't bleed. You don't see anything on this side, only this one, which I did with alcohol markers. In this drawing, I was practicing color in the face again, so using blue for the shadows and yellow and orange for the highlights. The same thing here. I made this portrait and I wanted to give it a creative touch, so I drew her twice. But yeah, in the end I think it looks a little bit strange now, as if she has two heads. Here I practiced with using purple and color in the face again, but it left an orange stain on this page, so I covered it up by making an orange portrait. This was done with a highlighter and colored pencil. Then I did a little frog study that I never finished. Here I drew Jenna. She makes really creative videos, and I was inspired to draw her. This one I drew in the train. It's Jasmine again. You can tell I'm still practicing the color in the face. Here I think I used a bit too much purple. This was an attempt of a self-portrait that I really don't like. And here I covered up another failed drawing with post-its, and I think it turned out a lot better. And this is really an easy trick to cover up anything that you want. This has a really nice story because I drew this the first time I met Lieve Merlijn. We went to a cafe and sketched together. Here I have a horizontal drawing. I wanted to use watercolors, so I did that, but it wasn't bright enough for me, so then I added markers and colored pencil as well. I wanted to do a bit of a creative concept, so yeah, you can see she's kind of melting into her bed, and I like the effect of the sun on her clothes. Then I practiced with a monochrome portrait. I'm quite into this color of blue, and I think adding a bit of color in her face really made it pop. Then I painted this after watching The Little Mermaid with watercolors and colored pencil. And I drew this one after watching Spider-Man, of course. Here I used the Stabilo highlighters again. These are the ones I'm talking about. I'm not sponsored to say this, by the way. Yeah, this is Yuyan, who I also follow online. This spread I drew in the summer vacation when I went to Copenhagen, and I had a really nice breakfast. I wanted to add it to my sketchbook, and this is Matilda Jerv. This side is only colored pencil, and here I used a bit of marker and colored pencil. I drew this while I was in the airplane, and I think it's quite fun with the bright colors. Then I drew this spread of cocktails. This is the first time I really made an effort to fill up the entire spread. That's quite fun to look back at. This is Cillian Murphy that I drew after watching Oppenheimer. I also drew this in the airplane. Here are some more portraits. This is Michelle, and I think I drew this just with colored pencil. This is a reference I found on TikTok, and I really liked the perspective in it, and I made her hair red, which really makes it pop, I think. This is another sketch I did with Lieve Merlijn, and this was really fun because we switched our sketchbook every 10 minutes. I was drawing with the cool tones and she was drawing with the warm tones and green. You can really see who did what, which makes it very nice, I think. Here's a drawing I never finished. This spread was inspired by Gustav Westman, who makes these chunky cups and vases. I really loved how it looked, so I wanted to draw it. And then I made this portrait with some fall colors. Here's another spread I did, and what I really like about this is that I tried to reverse the colors, and this was just colored pencil. This spread I wanted to experiment a bit more with adding some decoration, so I added some items, some strawberries and backgrounds, which really brings it all together. And I just really like the style of this 2000s vibe. This was inspired by the bear, just a really great show. I painted him using watercolors, and then I went over it with colored pencil. And then I drew some of my favorite dishes on the side. Here are some more eye studies. And this one I drew during Inktober with Lieve Merlijn. The theme was celestial. It was quite fun to sketch with ink. Then on this page I tried gouache for the first time. Gouache is a type of paint that you can layer very well, but you can also use it with water, so it's quite fun to work with, and the colors were really bright, so I think it turned out quite well. Then on this page I covered the stain of the previous drawing. I really stuck to a monochrome palette. Unfortunately, this has transferred a lot onto each other. You can see the red here and the outline of the blue here. Then I was inspired to design my own controller, so I just used some colors that I liked, added some stickers to it. I drew Emma Chamberlain, and I kind of experimented with using cool tones in her face and then some warm colors in her glasses, and I think it gives quite a nice effect. Then this spread I did using mainly markers. It bled through a lot. Yeah, I really liked this picture, so I wanted to draw it, and I really like how the clouds turned out here, and this Lego is one of my favorite parts of my sketchbook. This is a Christmas spread, and yeah, here's another spread I didn't bother to fix. This was the first time I tried Ohuhu markers, so this is done only using marker, and this one as well. I really like the color palette of this and the composition, and I think adding this blue background really made it come together. Then I did some more color practice. This portrait, you can really see the color in her face, where I used blue for the shadows and yellow and orange for the highlights. And this reference had a lot of contrast, so it really pops. And here I tried to use green as the main color, but I think, yeah, I'm not really happy with the way it turned out. I think it looks a bit too much like Shrek. I really like this color palette. This was done using colored pencils. Here I was working with OKX to promote McLaren. They are a sponsor of the McLaren Formula 1 cars, so that's why they're in here. And here I really wanted to draw Jasmine again, but I didn't want it to bleed through to the race car, so I did it on a separate piece of paper. And this was mainly done using Ohuhu markers, and this one as well. This is Zara Larsson. This sketch was inspired by the quote on my tea bag. When I was sketching with Merlijn, she came up with this idea, and the question said, what is required for a perfect picnic? So I drew some things that I love in a picnic. And here I tried the Femke gouache for the first time. That was really fun to try, but I think I need a bit more practice. So I look forward to using it again. And this drawing I made when I met Maaike for the first time. She also makes art online and she's really sweet. I just sketched the cafe. And this spread is my most recent spread, and I made this using markers and colored pencil. This is Rode again, and this is Millie Hannah. I just found her picture online and I thought it looked really cool with the nails and the perspective. You can really tell I'm excited for summer, I think. And then on the last page I made this monochrome portrait of Nara Smith, using this color by Faber-Castell, which is Prussian blue. This was the sketchbook tour. I hope you liked it. If you have any video ideas that you want to see or questions, just leave them down below. If you want to stay tuned for upcoming videos, make sure to subscribe. See you in the next one.